Yo, what's going on, everybody, man? Listen, I want to say thank you to everyone who's been tuning in, man. I really appreciate it. Last week's episode did really well. Shout out to my man Bill. It was great having him on the show, man. Man, it was cracking me up. Anyway, today we got Melanie Renee. Now, she's a very talented artist, very talented person. She just is what you call the definition of an entertainer. And she has a presence that is just, I really can't put into words. When you get around her, she just really knows how to take command of the moment, and she just has an energy about her that is really awesome. Today we're going to do a little interview with her, and it's going to be, you guys are really going to find out what it means to really take a leap of faith and go out there and do your thing. This woman is really about her business, and I respect it a lot. So I hope you guys enjoy the show, and that's about it. Enjoy. Peace. What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to the Brian Johnson Show. And today I got a very special guest, okay? I got a lady who, by her own words, is a masterful entertainer. She raps, she does a whole bunch of other stuff. I'm going to let her tell it, because I'm not going to even get into it. Her name is Melody Renee.
What's going on, Brian? It's the girl Melody Renee. You already know. Throw your fours up. Yes.
Listen, this is episode 6 of my podcast, and I'm very, very thankful the fact that I'm here with you right now. My man Deuce is in the background, her manager's in the background. We are chilling at my man Deuce's place out here, and today we're going to get into your story.
Yeah, so I want to start off by saying shout out to Radimus. He's in the building.
Right.
Definitely, he's always holding me down, GVO Productions. And I want to correct you on when you said I'm a rapper, because rapper last, way last. Let's say poet.
Okay, like I said,
Let's say poet.
Like I said, y'all.
An entertainer.
Yes. Okay then. Now, I have a question. Mm-hmm. Okay. Earlier you had told me before we got started on the podcast that you were from Detroit.
Correct. 313, baby. What up, though?
All right. So, can you tell me, you started out in Detroit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, how did you get into the business of entertainment while you were, did it start while you were in Detroit, or did it came when you came to New York?
Well, first of all, I have a family background in music. My mother was a vocalist. My father was a musician.
Right.
They made a melody, hence my name is Melody, and that's my real name.
All right.
Melody Renee. And I got a master's degree. I came to New York to actually pursue a master's degree in film because I love acting. I've been doing acting in theater forever.
Like you said, she's an entertainer, y'all.
Exactly. So I got my bachelor's in theater and came to New York to get my master's degree. And then for my thesis project, you had to do like a big production. So I knew I had a decent voice, and so I linked up with my homeboy Radimus at the time, who is now my manager and partner.
Shout out to him right there.
And I was like, listen, I want to do this thing for school. I want to sing. I want to do a video though for it. And I know that you're a rapper, so tell me, like, give me the steps. He's like, all right, I got you. So I put out my first single, A Daydream, and he linked me into the studios, and he shot the video with Say It Ain't So DVD.
Sweet.
Shout out to you, Munch Dog. And we got an A. I got an A. I graduated. I left. I went back to Detroit. I got a job.
Good grades are amazing when you get those.
Yeah, I got a job, a 6-figure job working for the city of Detroit with the mayor's office.
So hold on.
Yeah. This is a whole different story. It's not like your typical story.
All right, so you got a 6-figure job. So in most cases, a young African-American woman has a 6-figure job. She is going, in most cases, that direction means we're going in the corporate direction.
Exactly.
I'm trying to lock down this townhouse and a nice Benz.
Exactly.
That's where that story normally goes. So how did that story shift for you?
Okay.
Because we didn't even get into how you came into becoming. How did you get to this music thing? How did you get there?
So basically, I left. I started working for the mayor and moving. So my homeboy Radimus was basically showing people that he knows of in the industry, big labels and stuff like that he knew, and he hit me up like, "Yo, people like you. People want to know who this artist is," because I didn't have like an Instagram or nothing. That was just a project.
I got you.
He's like, "I think this could be something great." And I was like, "Really?" He's like, "Yeah, like I really think, and now that you don't have any kids right now, you don't have any obligations, I think that you should try to pursue it." So I sat down with my loved ones and I was like, Let's
must
do
have been
it.
a hell of a conversation.
It was, but it came down to the point was like, this is it.
Okay.
This is my, I have no children. I don't have any setbacks right now. I'm not married. Let's do it. So I left, and we've been doing this it'll be 3 years in September coming up. And we've been moving, which is crazy. Like, he put me in some great opportunities. So that's why I always have to give homage to Radimus and my team, Good Vibes Only Productions, because they were the ones that saw something in me before I even saw it in myself. Because then, I was just an actress. And then in I just became a public relations consultant for the city of Detroit. Like, that was just going to be it,
Yeah. A PR. See, all right. So
I still was going to do singing and acting just on the side as a hobby or whatever, but not on a serious note.
I can see the PR thing definitely with you, because you have the personality that's outgoing, and you're not afraid to take risks. And in life, that's a major thing. Like, if you can take risks, put yourself out there, there's nothing in this world that can stop you from achieving your goals.
You know who you sound like, right? You sound like Steve Harvey. I was just reading his new book called The Jump.
Steve Harvey before he met Donald Trump, because I can rock with that. I can't rock with the other motherfucker. Sorry.
Well, regardless of his background, he does have some great things he has to say in this book. Like, he's a good motivator. So
yes, he is.
I was reading the book Jump, and he was basically saying that, like, you have to take the jump. The fall may look scary, but you got to take the leap.
Yes.
You got to.
So you developed. So the project happened, and you were like, all right.
The single happened.
Single? Okay.
Because it was just one single. It was one track.
Okay.
When I came back to Brooklyn, it was like, okay, these people like me. We got to get a project together.
Oh, okay.
So we had to go full force speed. Like, my first times ever being in the studio, this guy was taking me to like big label studios. I didn't know how to record. I'm just be 100 with you.
Yes.
And then he's like, okay, well, let's dumb it down. Not dumb it down so much, but let's get you comfortable.
Okay.
So then we started going in smaller studios, and I started learning how to sing. Learning as I'm putting projects out. My first, I performed like my first time with Deuce the Privily at Fisheye. My first time ever performing.
Shout out to
then
Deuce.
The next 2 times after that, I was on tour with Bodie James.
Whoa.
Yes, it's crazy. No lie.
So you were, wait.
So my third time ever performing in life, I was on tour.
Okay. Let's break down this transition, because you're putting out music at this point.
Now I'm a full blown artist.
But then at this point you're going on tour, and you're just a newbie.
Never just recording.
Okay, so so I can get some context for my audience.
Yeah.
You go from having a pretty much set career,
correct,
to going and basically becoming a dream chaser, because that's what it is. And now you're moving on tour with an artist who's establishing themselves. You
know what? The stars are aligned, baby. When you meant to do something great, when you were destined to do something, because I always knew it was something more. But when someone like Radimus was like, "Yo, I see it. You don't see it, but let me show you. Like, if you trust me, like, do it." And I really was like, "All right, let's do it." And literally the third time ever performing, I was on tour with Bodie James, who signed to Nas. I'm not sure if he's still signed to him or not just yet, but we went on tour. We went to like 10 cities, and we were gone. And it was the crazy experience. I learned that performing is the easy part.
Yes.
That's what I learned.
Yes. Performance is the easy part.
It was the really easy part.
Yeah.
The hard part is the behind the scenes part that no one gets to see. Like, we weren't sleeping. We were sleeping in cars sometimes, not because we couldn't afford a hotel room, just because the time was like, after this performance, we got to get in the car and go to the next performance. So we were like, it was crazy, but we both put in that sacrifice and grind, and we're here now. And this is where I'm at. In 2 years I'm still in awe about it.
Let me ask you this. Now, when you made that decision to come here and do what you've done, how did your friends and your family, like, how did you keep in contact with them? Was it lonely for you to be out here?
Of course. I mean, let's just keep it real. Like, nobody.
And then you went on tour. I know that couldn't have been like the easiest thing either.
No. So it's always hard, but you know that I feel that anything worth having is not gonna be easy.
Yes.
Luckily, my family is really great at supporting me. Even the times when they're like, "I miss you," though. Like, my little babies, I have some god kids. Shout out to LJ in London.
Nice.
And they miss me because I'm a kids person. I love the kids, so the kids love me, and that's hard to hear them like, "Oh, you're gonna miss my birthday," but I know that I'm doing it for them.
Right.
So it's like, okay, 2 years, just relax. Because after that, auntie, sister, cousin, best friend, lover, and all of that, I'm going to come back and we're going to take the world by storm.
Nice.
Just hold tight. So it gets hard sometimes, but I know the end goal and I focus on that. And I know that I have a greater purpose. I don't think that I'm doing this music just to do music. I feel like I have a bigger message, and it's a positive message, and I think that the industry is missing that.
See, basically, you're not one of those people that's just trying to do something to say they did something after high school. I get you. Completely understand that. Because there's a lot of people out there who I think are just obsessed with trying to be somebody on Instagram and trying to be somebody. And I appreciate about you is I can tell because you immediately corrected me when it was come down to your talent. You're protective over that.
Oh, very.
And that makes, at the end of the day, that makes for a good artist. Honestly, that's refreshing these days because most people, they just run with whatever someone gives them and then they just roll with it. So, all right, so we're in this place. You're making things happen for yourself. You're on tour. Now, when you come back from tour, what was your life like at that point? Because everything had changed.
Yeah, as soon as I got off of tour, my management was getting mad calls from magazines, radio stations that wanted to do interviews with me. He put me in a modeling. It was like a modeling runway, like a project runway type of thing. And right after that, so it was just like a ripple effect of like a domino effect. Things were just like, wow, okay. So then I was meeting people from there, and people were like, oh, you need to model in my clothes. Oh, you need to do a commercial. Oh, you need to.
That phone getting heavy now.
It was just going crazy.
Little fire.
Yeah, and it was actually. I was in situations that I didn't think that I would ever be in, like being in a studio at Quad Studio, recording next to Busta Rhymes, like literally walking past Nick Cannon with his turban on, stuff like that. Like those are things that people would be like, what? Like chilling with Puff Daddy's children.
I saw that.
Going
on Instagram,
going to Source Magazine and being, looked at as one of the artists that's there, like major artists taking pictures with me.
I must say, I like your tone and I like your voice.
Thank you.
I appreciate that about you.
And I appreciate you saying that because me learning as an artist, I'm still learning my voice still because I'm a baby still in this world. I'm like a kindergarten in college right now.
Listen. As long as you know how to up your tone and bring down your tone at the right pace, and know how to control your breathing, you're gonna be all right. That's something I've learned over time. The controlling of the breathing is a highly important thing. And I can tell right now, even with your voice now, you have what we call the eye pop. Like you hear your voice, eye pop. Eye pops up, pops. So it doesn't go off like as a monotone, and it just gets pushed aside. Now,
I think that's with the acting because my management. At first, I was a little scared in the studio. I'm going to be 100 with you guys. And he was like, yo, you're an actress. Act it. Act the emotion. Act being sad. Act being happy. And once I kind of got that, which I'm still working on it.
Right.
It was like, okay, because that's how I talk. I know that, okay, at this point, it needs to be a higher tone. When you're telling the story, it can't be that model tone like that. So I appreciate that because it's just growing and getting better and better.
Did you at any time, consider taking acting classes, or did you just was like, all right, I'm just going to continue?
No, you know what? You talking about now?
Yeah, right now.
I think this is a real conceited thing to say, but I was about to say that's in the bag. That's completely in the bag. I'm being seriously like I can,
confidence level on major
with that
full,
with acting 100%.
Okay.
Like no one can take that from me. Check that out on Sons of Kingston. I act in a web series called Sons of Kingston. We just got nominated for 3 awards. The award show, the web series awards. It's on March 17th. It's on March 17th.
Where's the link at? Where can they find the link?
You can, if you go on my Instagram, you'll be able to find that. Files. Like go in on anything, go Sons of Kingston, click on that, and they have it in their bio.
Sweet. All right, so let me get this right. So you're in the studios. You're going to the studios. You're immersing yourself into the industry, as they say.
Completely soaked.
What was your first kind of like learning moment in the industry? Like you were like, oh, so this doesn't go down like everyone thinks it does.
Oh, I mean, a lot of people say a lot of stuff that they can do.
Oh, gave you the okie dokes.
And don't
yes, the okie dokes.
do it, you know? And then they'll see me and they're like, oh, you only been doing this for 2 years. And then start asking me questions, but you're the big shot, you know?
Right.
It's like, wait a minute, you've been doing this for 15 years. You've been whatever, and you teaching me and I'm learning. And then I notice that you really don't know what you know. So once
some people are not able to teach what they know. If they think they know a little bit, they can't teach it to some people, I think. And I think some people are fake it till they make it to the end.
Exactly. And I realized that this industry is that, like, I got to be honest. I realized that seeing a lot of artists, and then I'll see their gram, like, oh.
The old hustle gram. Yeah.
The gram's fire, though.
Yeah.
But I know the real person. So, you know, and me, I love to be in front of the camera. I love to do that, but I like to be my real self. And sometimes people feel like being real is not enough. I'm not saying I don't feel like that, but I know some people feel like I have to have this in order for people to.
That's what we call the low self-esteem, and they feel they need.
It really is. But societies did it like that, you know. I was just having a conversation. I don't want to take the conversation too distraught, but. My female friends, like, a lot of them feel like if they don't have a selfie with makeup on, or if they don't have a crop top on with their boobs showing or whatever, they're not going to get the same attention. And it's like, that's crazy, just a regular picture.
That's so crazy. That's the industry in a nutshell.
But it's real, though. It's so sad. But honestly, like, if you do statistics, and my friends have done it, like, watch, I'm going to show you. I'm going to put this picture up and show what I show, and watch how many likes I get up. Now, watch, I'm going to put a picture of me working with a briefcase and show you how many pictures I get. Like, we've did a little case study just with our friends, and it's like, wow. Yeah. You only got 32 likes on that briefcase picture, but that swimsuit picture got 500 likes.
Yeah, but that's the game. That's how the game works. That's why you see a lot of women who are... I have a few people that I follow, and one claims to be a photographer, but all I see is like damn near half naked pics or really tight stuff of her, but she's a photographer. And I'm just
that's how she's winning. Some people doing what they can do to get where they're at, and then they switch it up. And that's what I've learned is that a lot of people aren't really who they are. They're just being who they need to be until they get to where they're at, and then they can switch up. Yeah. Prime example, Pink. You remember Pink? She was strictly R&B. Like, that was her vibe. Like, she was like a black, white, Caucasian girl, for the industry, right? Yeah. But as soon as she made her money, where she's at? You hear her? No. But she's popping over in the rock world. Yeah. Because that's what she really wanted to do.
I think that's a great example. I didn't even really think about that.
That's what she really wanted to do. She just had to make it. She had, that was the look. Oh, nobody has a Caucasian R&B. She got the fans, got the bread, and then she did what she really wanted to do. So
I think that's what a lot of artists, they get in where they can fit in until they get where they want to be.
How do you feel about that? Like, you think that's a good thing?
Personally, I think, how can I put this? I understand fake it to the make it. There's a lot of people out there who are genuine people, but they got to do what they got to do in order to eat. And in the social media world, people are driven by their vision and what they see. So me personally, I can't do it. I would literally be vomiting in my mouth if I had to do that because I don't know how to be other than this cornball ass dude I am now. So trying to be somebody else just to get likes, I can't do it. Probably that's hence why I don't blow up on Instagram and stuff like that because I can go out and fake it till you make it, put it all over YouTube and be great. But I can't do it. I can't sleep at night doing it. Some people are morally... They don't have that, right? Yeah, they can stretch their morals out and do it. I think the artists who win the long game are the ones who stick to longevity, stick to who they are. But
then you have people like your Cardi B who's proven wrong, who's proven that fact to be wrong. Like she was ratchet and she knew she's ratchet. She was stripping, showing her body, and she's popping.
The thing I love about Cardi B, and this is my one thing I love about Cardi B is no matter what she does, she still continues to post on Instagram. She continues to stay. She's still herself. She stays home based. You still see her with her hair wrapped up, no makeup on, running her mouth.
No, yeah, I love that.
And that right there endears people like myself who want genuine artists, who want the reality artists to be there to them. Because that's why I still follow them. My girl still follows them. I still think she's dope. I think that everything she's doing is dope. I just want her to give me quality music when it comes down to it. Because regardless of whatever you do, if the body of work doesn't match what you do,
right.
At the end of the day, you should have been on Flavor of Love.
You
should have been a reality star, my G. Like really is.
You just had a crazy memory in my head with the Flavor Flav situation. But no, I totally get you. So for me, I want to be a different role model. I don't want to say a positive role model. I want to be that too. But, you know, sometimes I can be myself and people could be like, oh, that's not positive for the kids or whatever. But I just want to be a different type of role model. I want to be a role model that someone can say, oh, I don't have to do it like that. Right. That's all. Well, that's the main thing. If you want to do it like that, that's great. Right. But you don't have to do it like that. That's the only difference that I want to show.
How do you feel about what people have, the female presence that was in Black Panther?
Oh my God, it was beautiful. I think that movie right there, it really touched me because this was the first time that I personally seen a person of color looked at in a positive light. Correct. Usually in our movies, we're drug dealers, pimps and hoes, you know, and whores and everything else, and just ghetto. Yeah. You know, let's just call it what it is.
The token funny black guy who can't get shit straight.
The black face. You know what I'm saying? Clear.
Shuck real and talk. Get that chicken. Get that chicken.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yeah. So, but this movie was complete opposite. It was a no, sir. This is who we are. And it was a wonderful, it was really, really wonderful. I tell everyone to go see it. I'm going to go see it again. Okay. And a lot of people are like, but it was, I think they said it was a white writer or a white, I'm like, dude, I don't care. I don't care if he wrote it. He wrote it to look like that. And that's what I needed to represent. Yeah, man. Like, it doesn't matter. Okay, that's even better. He sees it. Right. So that's the sad part. How a white person see it and you don't see it. Like
the colonizer sees it and you don't see it. Yeah. Yes. Now, seeing that you said you wanted to be a role model in a certain sense, and you saw how the African American woman was portrayed, or black woman was portrayed, I should say, in Black Panther. How important it is for you to portray a strong presence as a black woman to the audience that you are going to basically acquire as time goes on?
For me, again, I want to show that it's okay to be who you are. Like, you know, a lot of females that are of any different color other than Caucasian, they tend to bleach their skin. Yes. While Caucasians tan. Like, come on.
The world is a screwed up place, man. Let me tell you the truth, man.
Let's be real about it. Like, this isn't a conspiracy. This is what it is. Right. So I want to show people of any color that be who you were created to be and be the best version of you. Right. Because no one can beat you at being you. No one can beat you at doing that. So be the best version of that. And I had to learn this literally, Brian. I just realized that I was pretty. Like on some real stuff, I was talking to my manager. Like I looked in the mirror and was like, oh, you're pretty. Not to say that I didn't think that I was pretty, but I always pointed out flaws in the mirror versus...
Well, I think a lot of women. I think a lot of women in this generation. There is always, especially I would say in the social media age, they question what looks good and what doesn't look good all day long. Like, okay, so let's just say, how can I put this? Everyone knows Gabrielle Union is beautiful, but she suffered for a long time. She didn't think she was beautiful. Exactly. And she's a brown-skinned, beautiful woman, but for a long time, even though she had suffered from a very dramatic situation in her life, she still didn't think she was beautiful. And she has this great-looking basketball player as a husband and stuff, but for a long time, she struggled with it. She predates the social media age, but there's a lot of girls, like I'll give you an example, my sister. I love her to death. My sister is beautiful, but she never wants. I can't post anything of her at all without her approval. My girlfriend, I love her to death. I can't post anything of beautiful. They're all beautiful women, and it's like I'm a photographer. I know it looks beautiful. This looks beautiful, but she won't let me post them.
But we were just speaking about this last night. We had a GVOP meeting and one of our models was in there, and I was like, listen, you got to get confident because she slacks from that. And she's like, well, now I'm feeling more confident. And I said, why? And she's like, I don't care what anybody else say that I'm pretty. If I don't feel I'm pretty, I'm not going to be able to be confident in that. But the world and society, I'm telling you, is showing a picture of what a perfect woman should look like. So if your boobs aren't like that, if your butt isn't like that, if your face and structure isn't like that, then that's considered not beautiful. So it's hard for us to say we're beautiful when in reality, not you per se, but you men say that that's beautiful because that is what the likes are saying is beautiful. So it's a hard situation.
It's so difficult because the other day there was like this Mount Rushmore post that I saw on Instagram with all the, I guess it was like one girl from Housewives of Atlanta, the white lady that's from there, and the Jenners, they all had their lips done.
It's so crazy.
And
like
it's like
they want to do what we do, but we want to do what they do. Like how backwards is this?
I think it's an old theory of mine, but it's something I always say is people are always trying to mimic what they are not. They're always trying to mimic what they are
I'm
not.
going to start, I do a lot of studying lately, and I'm going to have to study that because it's so odd. Like I was saying, we bleach our skin, they tan their skin. We try to get reductions in our lips and on our nose. They're putting collagen in their lips and in their noses to get them voluptuous. They put collagen in their cheeks, and we to get our high cheekbones as well.
How many hustlers? I know a lot of hustlers who have sent girls to DR, sent girls to an island specifically to go get their bodies done and come back. And they're bartender girls. They get their rent paid. They live in these big condos, and they send them out to get their bodies done.
So what example is that? That's basically saying what you're saying. That's why your sister and your girlfriend, people like myself, girls like myself, feel insecure. Because even though we're naturally beautiful, society is saying that we're really not.
And it blows my mind because I'm just like, you should never let someone dictate what you are, who you are, and what you're about. But society somehow dictates that. I mean, shoot, let me be honest with you. Years ago and this is a long time ago, but when Wu-Tang came out, all of a sudden Timberlands became cool and a thing to wear. That was dictated by what we saw Wu-Tang wear.
That's why I feel so strongly about being this artist and becoming this mogul in the industry because I will be able to shift the way of thinking.
Right.
Because
like
Beyonce can post one thing and everybody would be like, "Oh, Pepsi's the best."
Did you see they post yesterday? I think they're going on tour. Her and Jay. It took over my timeline.
Yeah,
and I'm like, how did this take over? This is so quick. It took over my timeline, and I realized at that point how influential. I mean, look, I knew Jay was the most influential rapper I've ever seen because when he told people to stop drinking Belvedere, we stopped drinking Belvedere. Literally, the club shut that down.
Yeah,
and that's powerful. When he told us to put on, button downs. We all put on button downs.
Exactly.
That's the power.
And look how it's shifting now. Now he's wearing his African tribal clothing.
Ah, dashikis.
Now, you heard? Now he's going over in Africa and saying it's okay. The shift, and then you see your Drakes now giving money back because it starts from there. So if you have that power, you should be using that to better our planet, to better our community.
You should definitely be doing that. Now, you strongly speak about being a mogul in the industry and everything. What kind of things do you think that you could help facilitate change to?
Our children. It starts with our children.
Right.
It starts with our kids. If we are able to give our children what they need to feed and grow, like we're giving them garbage.
Correct.
So if we're giving them good food and nourishment, mind, body, and spirit, they're going to be those type of adults. So my objective and my team's objective is to get a school.
Okay.
To get a school and put people of like-minded understanding like myself as the teachers and the influencers and teach our curriculum.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying?
I totally agree with that. I think because I can remember growing up, they never taught us about Ghana or any of the larger civilizations that were around the time of Egypt.
Exactly.
And they never speak about that, and then they barely even spoke about Egypt when I was a kid. It was a very special teacher of mine because I was young. I was in special ed classes as a kid, and she would take the African American kids. Because a lot of African American kids in my school were put in special ed classes just because they might not even been slow. It was kind of their way of just shifting people into a class. She would take us and teach us about Kush and other
and that's
large
wonderful.
That's
dope.
I think that right there should be more incorporated in teaching us. Other than look, there were other civilizations that did amazing things other than the actual. Other than the European culture.
Exactly. Like especially if you're teaching a different culture. How can you teach someone else's culture? It's great. We understand your culture, but what's our culture?
Yes.
Let's learn that. And it's nothing wrong with that. And society has told us that it's wrong for us to know our culture. And it's blasphemy, I think.
Anything past slavery definitely has been wrong.
Yes, exactly. So they've told us to forget slavery, but they won't forget 9/11. They're not forgetting the Holocaust.
Forget 9/11.
You know what I'm saying? But they don't want us. They want us to forget slavery. But we're not even going to get into that because I'm not just power of the people. You know what I mean? Those are my people. But I'm just saying that I just want people to be aware of it too. Like, don't ignore that didn't exist.
Right. Now you have come back from your tour that you were on. You're ingraining into the industry. You're going to different studios. You're learning about the industry at this point. What kind of musical influences are beginning to influence you in sounds that you're trying to create?
This is because I'm an entertainer, so I follow entertainers. So I study film like a basketball or a sports person would study film.
Okay.
I study
doing your homework is important.
Yeah,
That's
documentaries
right there,
and live performances of the greats. So I studied your Tina Turners, I study your Janet Jacksons, your Missy Elliott's,
Sweet.
People that are entertaining because I love the stage. So I look at their live performances like, oh, I'm not doing enough. Like, if I'm not doing that, then I'm not doing enough. And your Beyonce's, your Bruno Mars, your Michael Jackson.
Those heels on stage has got to be like.
It comes natural though. I'm not even gonna lie. It comes natural. Because I have a dance background.
Okay.
I used to dance professionally for a hockey league in Saginaw.
Got you.
So, I just been doing so much. Every time I say certain things, I'm like, dang, I did that?
Yeah, there's a lot to elaborate on, but we can say that for the next episode. But right now, we're going to stick to the influences. So those people were influenced. Who right now that you see in the industry that you're listening to, sonically, you're like, yo, because for me, I'm a big music guy, right? So sonically, anytime Pharrell comes out with something, it blows my mind. Like, I'm listening to so he has a song right now. I can't name it right now, but there was a song that he came out not too long ago with Pusha T, and he's got a whole different flow going on. And I love Pharrell because he's always changing up his flow. Like the Migos are dope, their flows are dope, but back in the day, for me, well, back when I was rolling, I was getting high all the time. I was listening to Outkast, and the first album that ever really blew my mind sonically was ATL Aliens. And just kind of, as a kid from New Jersey, as a kid from out here in the Northeast, you don't get that music. So as soon as you hear it, sonically, it blows your mind. What kind of influence, what sonically, music-wise, that you're just like, yo, this blows my mind right here. I'm listening to it, blows my mind.
Kendrick Lamar, hands down.
Have you heard the Black Panther soundtrack?
Yes.
Amazing, right?
Amazing.
The beats are,
you can just listen to it over and over. And then it's powerful messages within that he has embedded in there. So I love that. But I love my girl, Cesar. She's musically inclined. I love that. And I'm a big fan of Janae Aiko.
She's dope.
Bruno Mars.
Mm-hmm.
I love him. I always say I'm gonna be the female Bruno Mars. Like, that is my goal.
That is a goal to shoot for.
That's
a goal to shoot for. That's
goal.
an
I've always
goal.
told people that.
Minus the snow. Minus the snow.
Absolutely minus the snow.
Okay.
But yeah, so striving to be something that I see like that is great. People that are moving, and people that still have a positive influence. Like, it's certain people that I see. Gucci Mane, I like too.
Who don't like Gucci Mane, man? You gotta be a real hater not to like Gucci Mane.
Gucci, that's my bro. Shout out to Gucci. I swear, I would love to do a track with him.
You gotta be a hater not to like Gucci.
Conceited.
You need to listen to just chill out, listen to his music.
Yo,
man.
that's my bro. Like, me and my dude love him. Like, so anywho. But yeah, so Bruno Mars, Janet Jackson, even though, a lot of people think that she can't sing, I'm like, no,
I think she's a studio singer for the most part.
awesome entertainer, and that's what I get at. Like the full package. Let's focus on the full package.
Right.
We have some people that can sing like Adele,
but can't do nothing else.
But when you go, you should just stand still, and that's that. So
I think that is dope that you said that, because I think people like Bruno Mars and a few other people, I think the shift is coming to performance wise.
Yes,
it's
it should be.
It's just not just staying there, because I see a lot of artists, they, right now, like I listen to Nipsey Hussle. That's my main dude right there right now. And when you go to his shows, he's bouncing up and down the stairs. He's going over here. You notice that he puts a lot of time into giving his energy and focusing on controlling his breath and not running out of breath on stage.
Well, once you realize that you make your money as an artist from shows.
Show bags.
You know what I mean? That should be your main focus,
right,
because
right.
we're trying to make sure that everybody, every time they like, yo, I had a good ass time and I'm coming back.
Word.
You know what I mean?
Word.
It's kind of like the
Word.
Black Panther situation.
Yeah.
You see it, you saw it, but you're like, I got to see it again. And that's exactly what I bring to, if you come to see me perform, like anybody that is anybody that's ever seen me perform is like, yo, she kills it. Because I try to bring you a performance. Right. I try to I add my acting element into there. My dances is in there, so... You get a lot from coming to a show of mine.
I think you can best describe you that V word. You're versatile. You just have that gift. I could tell by your personality, the way you move and the way you're speaking, is that you are a person who is very open-minded to moving forward. Definitely. And you're not a person who is interested in let's sit back and reflect all the time. You're a very focused person. That's a good way to be. I think a lot of people in the industry these days are either they're caught up in the moment, or they're trying to harp on the stuff that was in the past. They're not moving into a forward.
You got to have a happy medium. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I'm not perfect. I always get caught up in the moment. Sometimes, I be in the room with Revolt. Like, they about to shoot. Oh, okay. Like, you just got to be like, my
first time on stage on a set like that is probably like a pretty intimidating moment.
Yeah, I had now I'm still learning again. This is my second project. These are like I still in my double digits of recording in studio.
Right.
This is all a new experience for me, but one that I can say has been an amazing roller coaster journey.
Good. That's an amazing thing. And now you're at this point. I just asked you who your influences are and everything else. I want to get to know where you are going to now. Where are you coming to now?
Where am I going to now? Well, right now, my team, we're getting ready to go to South by Southwest and, the music festival and go crazy out there networking.
Fire time.
Yes. And then I have a EP that's coming out. It's called Out of This World. Okay. I have some crazy features on there. I have Cassidy on there. Bars is back.
I didn't even ask you how you don't want to ask a woman a lot of times, and I'm not nothing to do with Cassie. When you come into the industry as a woman, and with the whole Me Too movement and everything else, I tend to ask questions about has it been difficult for you as a woman in the industry? Because I didn't want to touch too much on it.
No, I'm glad you asked that, because no, honestly. And the main reason is because I got Rodimus by my side. He's got that stern face.
Yeah.
They not trying to try it.
He can fight off the wolves.
Yeah, even if they thought about it, they take a double think. Like, maybe I don't know if I want that trouble. Right. So, thankfully, I'm so blessed in that area. Right. Everybody that I have came across, and this is why I feel like the stars are aligned, because from Rodimus to to Pinaka to Deuce Privy to like everybody that I've come around, and to name a ton of others, Mr. One Love, like they've just been genuine, like big brothers. Good. It's been, nobody's been on no funny stuff. And if they ever did say like, hey, you're attractive or whatever, and I said, oh no, they respected that, and that was that, and it never happened again. You know what I'm saying? And so I've just been blessed in that area.
You have a positive experience right now, man.
Right now, yes. But but my team, they don't play that. It's men, and they're really protective over me, and so I think that other guys or anybody that's tried to test it, they know that.
Good.
And so it's not as easy. But I know that it's hard for a female.
That's why, but I didn't.
Definitely.
It's definitely, because I've seen it myself. So I've
been times, like a couple of times where Rodimus wasn't able to come to an event, so I would have to go by myself or with someone that's not of his caliber, that's,
right.
not really paying attention to that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And guys would try me then, of course, because they don't see there's nobody guarding, and it's like, and I noticed, like, wow, if I had to deal with that, I probably wouldn't want to come out.
That's the thing about the industry. People always say, well, why are there not more women? Why are there not more women? Because they either have to get down with a team of dudes, or they can't get in that door because there's so many guys out there who are just not looking at you as an individual, a human being. You're an object. You're a sexual object at the end of the day. And that's why they over-sexualize. I saw a lot of that over the years. Like, a chick would have to be in a video a couple of times, and then all of a sudden she can get into maybe getting into the studio.
Exactly.
And, back then guys were... Let me tell you something. Around, I want to say 2004 to around 2006, it was savage season.
Wow.
2007, savage. Like, it was like, listen, you want in the stew? You got to go him, him, and him.
Too.
And that's what it is. Him and him. And then we give you some stew time. And even then, you might get that.
Oh, no.
See, and that's, and girls would do that.
But see, crazy. You have to be stern. Like, I'm not that type of girl, first of all. So I think that you see that and you not even... I've never been disrespected in that light, and we're going to keep it like that. What I'm saying? Like, they feel the energy off top that... Nah, I don't think I should even say that. They might have thought it. A man is a man, so you might have thought it, but... And then once we have a conversation, it's like, oh, yeah, I made the right decision.
Good.
Like, I wasn't supposed... I'm glad I didn't do that.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Now, I have a question. Being that you're from Detroit and everything, what was your biggest difference from Detroit to here, the people-wise here? Like, the guys,
you guys are so mean. You guys are so mean and rude. Like, just honest. And sometimes you don't even mean it like that. That is just the culture. I've seen people get out their cars like, yelling at each other. And then they get in the car and it's okay.
Yeah.
In Detroit, if that happens, somebody's getting shot. The police is getting caught. That's not culture. Right. You get out the car on me, somebody's gonna die. So to me, it's just different. What new rapper is out? T Grizzle, I think his name is. I can't think of his name, but he's like a dope rapper. I think he's either from that area or he's close to it. And the stuff that boy be going out of his mouth is just like, yo, like, are you living in Vietnam at this point? Like, my man, it's always he's talking some real stuff that I didn't think Detroit was like, and then you find out details because you hear Chicago rappers and the trill music that comes out of there and the drill music. Did you ever listen to that kind of music, or you were just like, no? Again, acting was my first love.
Okay. So
I chose acting because my mother and father were into the music, and then, drugs got involved. And so I was like, I don't want to do that. They were in the music in the 70s when it was like when drugs were big and heavy.
Every day. So drugs was a lifestyle.
And so I associated, if you do the music, that's how it's going to be. So I was so afraid of the music industry, honestly.
Acting wise, I didn't even, before we get into anything else, acting wise, who was somebody that you looked up to that kind of was like, or was it like not really? I mean, you could say,
a lot of men, and not even a lot of females, but Angela Bassett, of course, but Tessie, okay. Denzel Washington, of course. But I'm also a big fan of a lot of, Julia Roberts.
All right.
Angelina Jolie.
Got you.
Leonardo.
Who doesn't like Leonardo DiCaprio?
Yeah, exactly. So I'm influenced by them, but I'm influenced by just being a method actor. I love when real actors are method actors because that's when you actually go out and study that particular character before you become that character.
Sweet.
And those I feel like are the best actors, and shows improve. Those people, Halle Berry's, those people that I'm saying they're method actors, and you could just tell.
Did you ever want to be on Broadway?
Broadway?
Like stage, like plays and stuff like that.
Well, I did stage plays. I did off-Broadway stuff when I was in undergrad. It's just a highlight of my life, being on stage, period.
I got you.
But My ultimate goal is to be on Sesame Street. Everybody laughs at that.
Well,
but
at least
it's so
listen. The fact that you have a legitimate goal of being on that kind of a stage is
Listen,
bananas.
when you get there, you've made it.
Okay.
Nobody is talking to Kermit
Okay.
unless they've made it.
Right.
Period.
So
if you
being on
really
a
look at that,
Yeah.
nobody is nobody just talking to Kermit.
All right.
Kermit only talks to certain people. And I'm a big frog lover because I'm all about leaping and jumping, and the frogs have that whole mythology behind that.
Yes.
So that's a whole nother thing.
Yes, whole other thing. Right. We're going to stick off that right now.
But yeah, so that's the goal, to be on Sesame Street, and I maybe doing the ABC joint with Kermit and
That's when you know
making
you made
Miss
it?
Piggy
That's your
upset.
made it moment?
Yeah.
Okay. I got you. We all have our made it
I think
moment.
that's going to be my, ooh, wow.
When I do my first TED Talk, that'll be my made it moment.
See?
So
Everyone has it.
Yeah, I just want to do one TED Talk and just be like, here's my life. You know, I'm inviting my book, The Mystery Color Kid, because being light skinned, no one ever knew what you were. So that's my goal. That's my goal.
That's a whole nother topic.
That's a whole nother look. The brown light skin thing. When you go your entire life and everyone speaks Spanish to you and you're still wondering why, it's a whole nother life. But anyway, we'll get into that another time.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say that this has been a great podcast.
Mm-hmm.
So I really appreciate you being on here. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
And I want you to just let everybody know what you got going on and where we find you, and just let it roll.
All right, guys, it's your girl, Melody Renee. You already know, throw your fours up. Never give up on your dreams. I, guys, want you to follow me at It's Melody Renee. That's ITS, Melody Renee, RENEE. Or go to my website at melodyrenee.com. Make sure that you follow my new EP that's coming out May the 4th. It's called Out of This World. I got some special guests on there.
Sweet.
Cassidy, Jada Kiss,
Yes.
Signature, and a host of other ones. So cop that, and I'll have a release party date to be announced, so stay tuned for that.
Well, release party is going to be dope.
Yeah, we're going to have some
release
good
parties.
energy.
It's always great. If they're in the studio, it's going to be even crazier because then everybody gets tied in. It gets
so
wild.
dope.
It gets wild.
And shout out to my sponsors, GVO Productions. Thank you so much for continuing to support me and believe in me. So,
Man, this chick, you are amazing. Yo.
Thank
I gotta give it up to you because I was like, all right, we're coming here, we're gonna do this podcast. I don't know if she's gonna vibe, and then right now, I can feel right now like you are going to achieve some amazing things. I'm just honored that you came onto my show at this stage.
I'm
of your
honored to
career.
have. Thanks for having me. I appreciate
this,
that.
man. Shout out to Deuce for making this happen, man. Appreciate this guy wherever he is right now. Oh, yeah, I see him. Never mind. Okay, anyway. All right. Yo, on that note, listen. Definitely check out everything she just said, man. Let's just check her out, man, okay? She does a lot of dope stuff. Just make sure, where can they find you on Instagram?
It's ITSMELODYRENEE.
Is there any Facebook page?
Everything's the same. ITS Melody Renee. So
Okay.
if you type that in anywhere.